Hey everyone, it's GreasyMax, and today's video is going to be about how to make the growing out process of your hair a lot easier. Let's get straight on with the tips and tell you what I recommend. Tip number one I'm going to give you is to manage your hair properly. So what I mean by this is making sure you have the right hair care routine. So this includes shampooing, showering, conditioning. In terms of making the growing out process a lot easier, one I would say is to shampoo maybe 2-3 times a week. By doing that, you're making your hair, you're not damaging your hair as much. Your hair doesn't become as big and as volumed, which I think is harder to manage. I think it's a lot easier to manage your hair maybe after 3 or 4 days of not washing your hair. Those first 2 days, the hair is just all over the place. It's really big. It's like a grandma's hair. It's too, I don't know the word to describe it, but it's just so much better when it's got a little bit of grease to it. With this, I haven't washed my hair for 3 or 4 days now, and as you can see, it's got a nice little curl to it and it's going really nicely. But shampoo your hair 2 to 3 times a week and condition it once a week. That just keeps it really healthy, and it makes sure that it's in a really good shape and a really good position for the future, and it'll grow out quicker as well because it'll be a lot healthier. Now, tip number 2 of that is to get a regular trim. I had a regular trim on the top maybe every 2-3 months, and that was just because if you let the top grow too much, it becomes top heavy, it becomes quite hard to manage. It basically takes over the rest of your hair, it becomes really hard to style. Now, other places to trim is this little sideburn area here next to the ear. You just want this to be a little bit tidier, so if you do regular trims, I do that every 2 weeks, so just to keep this little sideburn nice and clean, and you can do that yourself. And one of the other main places to definitely get a trim is the back. It's up to you guys whether you trim the back as much as I have, but I have done a major trim every 2 to 3 months where I've completely cut right up to my hairline, and that is basically so that I didn't grow out with a mullet, and it's just made the whole growing out process so much easier for me because I haven't had this big horrible long part here while the rest of my hair is trying to catch up. If you're really kind of down in the dumps about your hair and you're really not enjoying it and you're just not feeling confident, you're just feeling shit, a really good trim can sort that out big time. It just gets a lot of weight off your face, a lot of weight off the top of your head, and just makes your hair feel so much easier to manage and so much easier to style. So if you're really struggling, I definitely recommend a trim. I covered this in a video previously, so go check that out. And it is one of the top things that I would say to make the growing out process a lot easier, and it also keeps your hair healthier, so it means no split ends and it means your hair grows quicker, which is what you want. Now, the third one would be to use a hairdryer. Now, this is even if you haven't washed your hair, a hairdryer gives it a lot more volume. So depending on what hair type you've got, my hair is pretty volume and pretty thick anyway, so I don't really struggle with this at all. But if you've got quite flat hair, hairdryer can, or if it's quite greasy, a hairdryer can just give it a good amount of, say, volume and just add a little bit to it. Now, the fourth tip I'm going to give you is hair product. This is something you have to get right, and this means the amount that you're going to put on your hair and what products to use. Using products has made the growing out process so much easier because it means that I've been able to style my hair in positions that I wanted. It's been able to put down little bits of hair that are sticking out in positions that I didn't want them to, and so it allows you to have more control over your hair. So the products for me that I would recommend is to get some good sea salt spray. If you've got quite straight hair, sea salt spray really helps with just making your hair a little bit better and gives it more of a nice shape. So at the moment I am using is the Fudge Urban sea salt spray. I think it was about £4 or something like that, but it's really good for your hair. It just, if you've got quite flat or straight hair, it really adds a bit of volume to it and makes your hair a little bit more wavier and just gives it a bit more better texture. And if you want to top your hair off with a little bit of hairspray as well, that just kind of gives it a little bit more of a hurl. Now, the other ones that I use clays, matte clays, but only a very small amount. Use about a pea-sized amount onto my hands, rub it in, and I literally go crazy with it. I rub it everywhere, and that also just gives it a little bit of volume. So the growing out process is a lot easier if you're using the right products, especially during the early stages as well. Getting the right amount of product really just helps to scrape that back and scrape little bits that's sticking out back, just to give yourself more control of your hair, which is what you want. Now another one that makes your hair growth easier and makes the hair journey a lot easier is setting a target and reminding yourself of that target. Find a picture of your favourite celebrity or favourite model with the haircut that you want, the hair length that you want. Stick it somewhere, put it on your phone background, put it somewhere you're going to see every day, just to remind yourself of what you are aiming for and what you kind of want to look like, because that really helps. And also setting a time on that. So for me, I knew for a fact that I always wanted to reach 12 months, which was my target, and after that 12 months I could do whatever I want with my hair. I could cut it off, I could grow it, but at least I've said that I've reached the 12 months, and that has made it so much easier because it's given me a target. Even at 9 months I really wanted to cut my hair off, but I thought, no, I get to 12 months, I reach my goal, and if I want to cut up my hair off then, I can cut it off, but at least I can say I've done 12 months. Right now your hair might feel pretty shit, and you might feel pretty shit because of your hair, but at least you know that in the future it's going to be at a stage that you wanted it to be at, and you will feel much more confident, and you'll feel a lot better about it, which is what I do, which is what I feel now. And now I've hit 12 months, I have the control of what I want to do, whether I want to cut it off or whether or not, because I've reached my target. Now the sixth and final tip is one that I never use. I've used like once out of my whole 12-month journey, and that is wearing a hat. Someone commented on my awkward stage video saying how to avoid the awkward stage. Wear a hat. And that guy's right. If you want to avoid it for a long period of time, then stick a hat on, stick a cap on, stick a beanie on, stick a fedora on, whatever type of hat you want to put on. I personally never wear hats ever, because number one, I just don't really suit hats. I suit fedoras, but I don't really suit beanies or caps, so a hat has never been an option for me. I've always had to just work with my hair and style it correctly, which is why I gave you the other tips of how to make the growing out process easier. But hats, that's a good one to add, because then you can just cover your hair up. You don't even need to do your hair. You can jump straight out of bed and whack a hat on. So if you're a guy or a girl that suits caps or beanies or any type of hat, then just chuck one of those on, because that's going to make the growing out process a lot easier, especially during those awkward stages. I hope those tips help with your growing out process and your hair journey. I hope it really helps and makes it easier for you. They're just a few of the things that I've used over the past 12 months, and now I'm at the 12-month mark and I'm pretty happy, and I'm just deciding what I want to do with it. So thank you for watching, guys. Let me know what you think, comment below, like and subscribe and all of that. Follow me on Instagram, which was just GreasyMax, and I will see you in the next video.